All right, let's dive right into this explainer. We are looking at a truly fascinating new blueprint for reimagining education in the age of AI. Think of it kind of like a McKinsey-style analysis, but instead of optimizing a massive corporation, it's literally designed to optimize how we raise the next generation. It's this comprehensive, full-stack framework for pre-K through 12th grade, and its core argument is pretty bold. It says our current educational system is just fundamentally misaligned with the future our kids are actually about to inherit. The source material kicks things off with this incredibly striking quote from Alvin Toffler. It immediately sets the tone and the philosophy for the whole document, really driving home that adapting to change is the ultimate future-proof skill. It's no longer just about banking a bunch of facts in our heads, It's about cognitive flexibility. How quickly can you adapt? The document argues that if you can't unlearn an obsolete process and quickly relearn a new one, you're absolutely going to be left behind in an AI-driven world. To unpack all of this, we're going to follow this roadmap. 1. The broken testing paradigm. 2. 5 pillars of learning. 3. The pedagogical architecture. 4. Assessing without high-stakes tests. 5. The pre-K-12 skill evolution. And 6. Skills AI cannot replace. Okay, let's jump straight into Section 1, the broken testing paradigm. 25 years of misaligned incentives. Now, you might be wondering how we got here. Well, the framework argues that ever since No Child Left Behind back in 2001, our dominant model has been all about accountability through standardized testing. But just look at the divergence here. By focusing so intensely on measurable test scores, compliance, and seat time, the report suggests we inadvertently missed developing essential human and strategic skills. We literally traded curiosity and collaboration for content recall. We swapped out resilience and executive function for, test preparation skills. But here's the good news. Rather than just complaining about the flaws, the report impartially lays out a really clear alternative, and it draws heavily on the Scandinavian approach. The framework points out that systems in places like Finland and Sweden consistently yield better international outcomes by doing the exact opposite of our high-stakes sorting model. They actually trust their teachers, they embed play and inquiry right into the daily routine, and they assess individual growth rather than relying on punishing standardized tests. Moving right along, let's look at Section 2. 5 pillars of learning, the core of the future-ready framework. What's genuinely fascinating here is how the framework seamlessly blends traditional academics with vital, real-world capabilities. Notice how the academic core, so your math, literacy, and science, stands right alongside 4 other equally weighted pillars. You've got human skills like empathy and conflict resolution, executive function, which means self-regulation and goal setting, strategic thinking, covering systems design and wicked problem solving, and finally, AI and tech fluency, which covers the whole shebang from Python to prompt engineering. Now, to actually deliver that academic core, the framework champions concepts like CPA learning. That stands for concrete, pictorial, and abstract. So instead of a teacher just writing a dry formula on a whiteboard, students start with physical, hands-on materials. That's the concrete part. Then they draw it out, the pictorial. And only after all that do they move on to the numbers and formulas, the abstract. Unlike how a lot of us learned math where we just stared at a chalkboard hoping it would magically make sense, this method ensures students truly construct their own knowledge. Which brings us nicely to Section 3, the pedagogical architecture, basically how we teach. The framework anchors its entire methodology in the concept of ohana. This is a huge shift from a super competitive, independent academic culture to one rooted in deep collaborative community. We are a family of learners. And this isn't just a feel-good buzzword, it's highly structural. It means cross-age mentoring is actively embedded into the school day. Peer tutoring is just the norm. And parents, they are treated as active partners in the learning journey, not just bystanders waiting for a report card. To actually support this ohana culture, the ecosystem relies on some very specific research-backed structures. You've got multi-age classrooms with 2 to 3 year age bands. There's Kagan cooperative learning, which ensures daily interdependent teamwork. You see Harkness seminars, which is essentially training kids to lead respectful logic-based debates and synthesize ideas together. And they use Stanford design thinking to apply all of this to real-world messy problems. All right, let's pivot to Section 4, assessing without high-stakes tests. The Swedish-inspired growth framework. Think about it. If you're completely changing what you teach and how you teach it, you absolutely have to change how you grade it, right? The document makes a really strong case for replacing single test verdicts with continuous conversations. On one side, you have the old way, high-stakes testing driving the curriculum. On the other side, the future-ready alternative, portfolio assessment, growth indicators, and skills-based mastery. Inspired by Sweden's individualized education plans, every single student gets a transparent roadmap that teachers, parents, and the student review together as a team. And this is what that assessment actually looks like in practice. Instead of stressing out over chasing a letter grade, families use this totally transparent human-centered rubric. Emerging just means the student is building foundational understanding but still needs some support. Pass means they demonstrate the skill consistently. But the really cool part is the high pass. That doesn't just mean you memorize the material, it means you have achieved such mastery that you can apply it, transfer it, and, most importantly, teach it to someone else. So, how does this actually scale? Let's check out Section 5, the Pre-K-12 Skill Evolution, Scaling Future-Ready Skills. The framework actually provides highly detailed guides mapping out exactly what a student should be able to do at every grade level. Tracking just the AI and tech pillar over time, you can vividly see this evolution. A 4-year-old learns cause and effect with voice-activated tools. By age 7, they're using Scratch Junior for basic coding logic. By 10, they're learning structured prompt engineering and Python basics. In middle school, they are literally analyzing AI bias and data. And by the time they're a high school senior, they're orchestrating complex agentic AI workflows and writing AI governance policies. I don't know about you, but at 17, I was mostly just trying to remember my locker combination. It is a truly stunning progression of capability. Finally, we arrive at Section 6, Skills AI Cannot Replace. The human heart of education. We have covered a massive amount of advanced technology and strategic thinking today, but the framework ends on a deeply philosophical, grounding note about what machines simply cannot do. Artificial intelligence is going to become extraordinarily capable at pattern recognition and content generation, but it cannot look a child in the eyes. It cannot feel the electricity of a classroom solving a problem together that actually matters. While AI handles the data, the ultimate future-proof skills, empathy, collaboration, moral reasoning, and love are rooted entirely in our human capacity. The framework argues these aren't just soft skills, they are absolutely the hardest and most enduring skills we could ever teach. So, taking all of this in, looking at this comprehensive blueprint for the classrooms of tomorrow, we really have to step back, look at the schools in our own communities, and ask ourselves, is your child future ready? Are we just going to keep preparing them for the predictable tests of the past, or are we finally going to give them the tools to thrive in the deeply complex AI-augmented world of their future? It's a massive question and something every parent, educator, and policymaker needs to consider right now.